My name is McQuaide. I'm a Senior Improvement Manager at the Academy at Improvement Cymru. I'd like today to share with you some information on the SIPOC. Now, a SIPOC is an acronym that stands for Supplier, Inputs, Process, Outputs and Customer. A SIPOC diagram can help you gain an understanding of how each item will impact the process. It can define the scope of a project when it's in its early stages for detailed process mapping. Today I'd like to share with you quite a simplistic example of making a pizza. So it's to go through the SIPOC diagram process for making a pizza. Now when we start with our suppliers, this is the person that provides an input to the process. So this could be, as an example, the grocery stores nearby, the food warehouse where you get the actual products from, or perhaps international deliveries. If there's a Pacific delivery requirement, then that could come from an international source. As we move on to inputs then, so what actually goes into the process and how is it transformed? So the input starts with the dough. So making the dough, then perhaps adding the sauce, adding the ingredients such as pepperoni, cheese, peppers, onions, hams or herbs. These inputs could go on for a number. You could have 20 different inputs, as an example, depending what the actual customer wants to fulfill the needs for the customer. So the process needs a process owner. So that's the person whose approval is needed to make the fundamental changes to the process. So in our making a pizza, we've got Domino O'Leary. So what are the key stages in the process? So there needs to be a series of steps to transform the inputs into outputs outlined in the bullet points. So point number 1, we would prepare the dough. Point number 2, we would add the sauces. Point number 3, we would add the toppings. Point number 4, we would add the cheese. Point number 5, we would bake in the oven. Point number 6, we would remove from the oven. And the last point then, we would actually package and serve to the customer. So then we move on to the outcome. So the outcome can be the product or the service. So in this case, it's just making a pizza. So it's either a whole pizza or a slice of pizza. So depending on what the customer wants, we can either provide that in a whole concept or a slice. And when we come on to the customer then, so that's the person that receives or uses the outcome of the process. So whether that whole pizza or slice of pizza, there's a couple of options for the customer, whether they would like to dine in and eat it, take away, or have a home delivery. So that's just a basic overview of how to develop a SIPOC to ensure that you know what supplies, inputs, process, outcomes, and what customer requirements are required for that. So what does a SIPOC bring to an organisation? So it can bring transparency alignment about the process across this organisation, thus creating standardisation through supplier to customer. I hope you found this helpful and thank you very much.